My Technics S707 stereo tuner has developed a small problem. It's receiving great in mono. But that's no good because stereo tuners need to receive stereo. So let's see what's wrong with it this time. So this is my Technics ST707, and it has developed a bit of a problem over the last little while. This is a super sensitive tuner, but it's developed a problem. Can you see the problem? It's not receiving anything in stereo. None of the stations are coming in stereo. So we have a problem on this one, so I'm just going to kill the audio here.
Is this a real art?
It's a mono station, that one, but it's not receiving anything in stereo. I've been using this pretty much every day for the past, well, I guess, what, year since I got it. And all of a sudden, say the stereo went out. So I know I've put a schematic inside here. I hid the schematic inside the case so that if I ever needed it again, I had it. Let's take a look at the schematic. I forget what I did on this last time, actually. I know I changed a couple capacitors on it. The super cap was bad. We changed that out. But anyway, this time we're going to look into the FM demodulator stage. And this might be a fast repair. It all depends on what the problem is. I'm thinking something in the discriminator IF stage here, maybe. T101 and T102, these ones here. These are taking the FM IF and passing it on to the detector. And that might be where our fault is on this one. So let me just tune into a station here that I know is stereo. There we go. I'm just going to try, before I dig into anything else, let's just try tweaking the discriminator slightly. These are the transformers here, T101 and T102. If they're off, they won't be off by much. Like, we're talking a very slight adjustment. And the reason I'm thinking that maybe we have a problem here is if we look on here, there's a small little capacitor that's part of the transformer itself. And that could have drifted ever so slightly. So let's just try T101. I'm just going to just ever so slightly turn this and just see whether I get any stereo. Turn some sound on here, but I don't want to get hit with copyrights. I got to keep it down. So I just try adjusting this transformer. Oh. Okay, that's lit up now. Ah, stereo's come back. Stereo's come back. Just this transformer was just slightly out of tune. Excellent. So let's just see if this will go into full bandwidth now. I forgot how to work this stupid thing. IF band. There's wide and narrow, and if I go to auto by pressing and holding, it should automatically. There we go. Okay, it's working. This is how it's supposed to work. So how these tuners work, and I'll try and talk over the music here and not leave it on very long. But what they do is when you tune in, it looks for adjacent channel interference. That signal's really weak.
Former member of Pottery plays Wise Hall and on the way this
April. Try it, tweak just a little more here.
Show are now on sale.
That's a bit better. Okay, let's see that one. Very close there. That's a really weak station. That's what it's supposed to do. Okay. Let's find another reasonable signal. I don't know if that station is a stereo station or a mono station. Some of these stereo. This thing pulls in some really weak signals.
In a truck, plus a signing bonus of
Also, what I've noticed is that there's a lot of stations that are no longer broadcasting in stereo. I don't know what it is. Mostly American stations. I find stations that, you know, they've switched off their stereo.
Let me say it again.
I don't know why.
Perfect.
These are really weak, these stations. See, it automatically will pick narrow bandwidth or wide bandwidth depending on if there's other adjacent stations interfering.
Now.
If I press the signal button, it'll give me the signal strength. So I can tell what strength the signals are. 20 dB, 30 dB, 22 dB. So it gives you an idea what the signal is, right? 30 dB. These are just, some of these are distant stations. 30 dB, 36. $52 dB, that's a real powerhouse, that one. 42, this is a weak signal. This one will be a strong one, 50 dB.
But you can find it in great stores like
Sur le bord d'un plan d'eau, ça devrait passer. Quoique
Station's not in stereo. 14 dB, but no interference. This is the station I'm real interested in picking up, but it's really weak. We got a new jazz channel here in Vancouver, but the problem is
That's how we make things better.
I see CFOX, which is a strong signal, but I'm not getting it in stereo. But if I take the external antenna off, I must be getting some multipath, because if I take off the external antenna and just touch it with my finger, it's coming in stereo. So it must be just some multipath on this antenna. It's just a cheap antenna outside feeding through my coax, so it's not a very good antenna that I'm using. Anyway, looks like it's working. Another mono station. This is a Seattle station. That's a long ways out for FM, especially not using much for an antenna. That's another Seattle station. It's a pretty tough one to receive. Like the signal is like 18 dB, it's down in the weeds.
Drink lots of water and you're kind of like
20, 30 dB. The one I want to receive though is that one, 22 dB, but just almost there. I think if I get a better antenna, I might be able to pull this station out of the weeds. It's a really weak signal. This is the new signal that just fired up, and I don't even think they're at full power yet, but they're going to be 1700 watts. But their transmitter antenna is only 300 feet in the air, so they're not up on a mountain like the rest of the commercial stations. They are relatively low. They're on a 30-story building, I guess, in downtown Vancouver, and their power is rather limited because they're sharing a frequency with another station that's not that far away, out in Chilliwack. So when I'm driving around in the car, I get both of them coming in depending on where I go. I kind of want to try to pick up the local one, so I'll be working on putting up a directional antenna aimed at that station, and I'll tune it in on this receiver. Just to say this is a really hot receiver. Almost pulling it in stereo. Almost. I gotta work on that. Anyway, there's my little Technics S707 tuned up again, back in service. And again, the schematic is going to go back inside the box. I just folded it up and stuffed it over here beside the tuners where there's no heat. That way, the next time I have to look at this thing, I'll have the schematic again. Thanks for watching.